Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Betsy Singer. Attorney General Pam Bondi is being replaced. It is the second cabinet position shift in the last month at the White House. Our Washington correspondent Maddie Beertemple reports on the shakeup and how Bondi is responding right now in our top story at 5.
Outgoing Attorney General Pam Bondi posted that it's been the honor of a lifetime to serve as AG. She says she'll be working over the next month to transition her office to her deputy, Todd Blanche. The president posted, Attorney General Pam Bondi will be moving to a new job in the private sector. He called her a patriot and praised her work at the DOJ, saying, quote, Pam did a tremendous job overseeing a massive crackdown in crime across our country. He also announced Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will step in as acting AG.
Big news today. Trump just fired Bondi as U.S. Attorney General. But what does this really mean? Let us break it down. Let us talk about another shocking part of the Epstein side. Pam Bondi, as Attorney General, not only handled official cases, but she also handed out binders of Epstein files to conservative influencers. Now, these were people who thought they might finally uncover something new, some big revelation that would hold people accountable. But when they opened these binders, what did they find? Nothing. Absolutely nothing new. Just information that was already public. No new leads. No new prosecutions. Basically, a huge letdown. You have to understand how this hit the conservative community. People were expecting a breakthrough. They thought finally, after years of frustration, someone would face real consequences for Epstein's crimes. And instead, it was like being handed an empty box. Frustrating, insulting, and disheartening. It upset a lot of conservatives because it felt like they had been led to believe that there would be justice, that someone would be held accountable. And yet, here we are, years later, and no one has been held accountable. It raises so many questions about the intentions behind this. Was it incompetence, or was it done deliberately to give the appearance of action without actually delivering results? Conservatives who opened these binders were expecting transparency, answers, maybe even prosecutions. But they got nothing, and this is part of a much bigger problem. Accountability has been completely absent in this entire saga. The system let Epstein's enablers and associates go without facing consequences, and handing out these binders only added insult to injury. So when you look at this moment, it is more than just disappointing. It is emblematic of a broader failure. People trusted that they might finally see justice, and instead, they were handed nothing but old, redacted information. This is not just about a binder. It is about the ongoing frustration of seeing a system that consistently fails to hold powerful people accountable. And that is why this story continues to resonate anger. Here is when conservative influencers walked out with the binders labeled the Epstein files. Phase 1. The big promise was that there would be bombshell revelations inside. But as you will see, that did not turn out to be the case.
Bondi has faced backlash from across the aisle over her handling of files related to the investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm not sure the president was pleased about how it dominated.
Pam Bondi was just fired because of her cover-up of the Epstein files.
California Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna posted,
Whoever replaces Bondi should release all of the Epstein files and prosecute the rich and powerful men who abused young girls.
The Republican-led Oversight Committee subpoenaed Bondi for an interview about the Epstein files. California Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia says that will still go on, writing, quote, we look forward to hearing from her under oath. Even some Republicans are pleased with the firing. South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace posted Bondi, quote, handled the Epstein files in a terrible manner. Bondi once said Epstein's client list was on her desk. Then the department said that didn't exist. She also handed out binders of Epstein files to conservative influencers who then said they contained no new revelation.
Just because the binders have been handed out and the conservative influencers saw nothing new does not mean Pam Bondi is out of the woods yet. In fact, the story is far from over. California Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia has made it clear that investigations are still ongoing. He said that they will continue to pursue this matter, and they look forward to hearing from her under oath.
Well, she has to comply with the subpoena. I mean, after that appearance from a couple of weeks ago, Chairman Comer reaffirmed the subpoena was still in place. It's legal. It was voted in a bipartisan way. All Democrats, a handful of Republicans. And that subpoena, by the way, is very clear that Pam Bondi is to appear in front of our committee in just under 2 weeks, whether she is Attorney General or not. The subpoena is for her. And so she now has an opportunity, which is incredibly important, to address a committee about the Epstein files, about the failures of that investigation. But she also has an opportunity now to give us 100% the truth and the facts under oath. And I think that's going to be an important moment. We look forward to her testimony.
Think about that for a second. She may have delivered those binders, but now Congress is saying this is not the end. They are still digging. They are still asking questions, and they are insisting on accountability. This could mean sworn testimony, follow-up subpoenas, and possibly more revelations down the line. For conservatives who thought handing out those binders would close the chapter, it is a wake-up call. The story is still unfolding, and the spotlight is not leaving her anytime soon. So do not think for a second that this is over. The binders may have disappointed people initially, but the legal and political pressure is still very real. Robert Garcia and others in Congress are making it clear to expect answers, and they expect them under oath. So, what is the takeaway from all of this? The conservatives are still looking for real answers. They want accountability. They want to know who enabled Jeffrey Epstein, who turned a blind eye, and why nothing was done when these crimes were happening. This is not about partisan politics for them. He is about justice and finally getting transparency after years of frustration. On the other hand, the Democrats involved in this are clearly using it as a political tool. Congressman Robert Garcia and others have made it clear they plan to continue investigations and hearings, but you have to ask, how much of this is truly about justice and how much is about hurting the current administration for political purposes? There is no denying that politics plays a role here. This has become a weaponized process, and conservatives are rightly frustrated because while Democrats are seizing the headlines, what they really want, answers, has yet to be delivered. And let us put this in historical perspective. As I have said in past videos, this is not new. When Biden or Obama were in office, situations like this did not get the same level of scrutiny. Investigations were slow. Accountability was minimal, and many cases simply did not see action. So you have to wonder why the double standard exists today. Conservatives are being forced to navigate a system that seems more interested in headlines and political theater than in delivering justice. At the end of the day, this story is far from over. The binders may have disappointed people at first, but the pressure is not going away. Conservatives will continue pushing for the truth, asking the hard questions, and demanding accountability. And while Democrats may be using it to score political points, the public, especially the people who care about justice, will be watching every move closely. This is about transparency, fairness, and making sure history does not repeat itself. Nothing has been resolved yet, and until it is, the debate, the frustration, and the calls for answers will continue. If you want to stay updated on this story and all the political drama that comes with it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Comment below, what do you think? Are conservatives being denied answers, or is this all politics? I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and remember, we will keep breaking this story down as it unfolds. Do not miss it.